Sergeant Devin Blake stood in formation with 200 other human soldiers, trying not to think about the fact that in approximately 30 minutes, he would be permanently bonded to an alien partner through bioresonance matching that military command insisted was scientifically optimized for long-term compatibility and tactical coordination. The annual bonding ceremony had been mandatory for coalition personnel since the interspecies military alliance had been established, and Devin had spent the past 6 months listening to his colleagues discuss their anticipated matches with a mixture of excitement and nervous acceptance. "The Lyrathi are supposed to be amazing partners," Corporal Chen said from Devin's left, adjusting his dress uniform with the kind of fidgeting that suggested excitement masked as military professionalism. "Diplomatic, calm, excellent communicators. My compatibility scores with them were off the charts." "Lucky you," Devin replied, examining his own compatibility report with considerably less enthusiasm. "My scores indicated moderate compatibility with pretty much everyone, which apparently means I'm either remarkably adaptable or so generic that the system can't find anything distinctive to match." "But moderate compatibility isn't bad. Means you'll probably get paired with someone steady and reliable, better than getting matched with one of the volatile species." Devin nodded, though privately he wondered whether steady and reliable was diplomatic code for boring enough that you won't mind spending the next several decades in mandated partnership with them. The bioresonance bonding system had been designed to strengthen coalition unity by creating permanent neurological connections between human and alien personnel, ensuring that tactical coordination operated at instinctive levels that transcended normal communication limitations. The ceremony began with the kind of formal pageantry that military organizations seemed to believe made arbitrary partnership assignments more palatable. Coalition Commander Rodriguez delivered a speech about unity, cooperation, and the sacred trust of bonded partnerships, while holographic displays showed previous years' successful matches working together in perfect tactical synchronization. Corporal Chen announced the matching AI with synthesized enthusiasm that suggested someone had programmed it to sound encouraging. "Your optimal match has been identified. Please proceed to Bonding Station 7 to meet your partner." Chen grinned at Devin before moving toward his assigned station, where a serene Lyrathi woman waited with the kind of calm composure that the compatibility reports had promised. Devin watched them exchange formal greetings, their bioresonance readings showing smooth integration that the holographic displays helpfully indicated was excellent compatibility for long-term partnership success. But one by one, Devin's fellow soldiers were called and matched with partners whose calm demeanors and stable biosignatures suggested that the system was working exactly as designed. Steady, reliable, predictable pairings that would strengthen coalition operations through partnerships that prioritized tactical coordination over any inconvenient emotional complexity. "Sergeant Devin Blake," the AI finally announced, and Devin moved toward his assigned bonding station with the resigned acceptance of someone whose moderate compatibility scores suggested he was about to meet the universe's most average alien partner. The holographic displays flickered. Error messages began cascading across the screens in patterns that suggested the matching system was experiencing significant technical difficulties. Override warnings flashed in multiple languages, biosignature conflict alerts activated, and the ceremonial chamber's lighting shifted to emergency backup as the primary systems appeared to be having some form of technological breakdown. "System malfunction detected," the AI announced with considerably less synthetic enthusiasm. "Biosignature matching protocols are experiencing unprecedented interference, attempting emergency recalibration." Devin stood at his bonding station, watching technicians scramble to address whatever was causing the system failures, when he noticed her standing at the opposite end of the chamber. She was tall, with pale skin that seemed to absorb light rather than reflect it, pointed ears that rose through midnight black hair, and luminescent markings that pulsed beneath her skin in patterns that his cultural database immediately flagged as Velker clan identification. The vampire species. The aliens that other coalition members spoke about in hushed tones, whose reputation for volatile power and unpredictable behavior had kept them relegated to specialized operations rather than integrated into standard coalition forces. Velker were feared, respected, and generally avoided by soldiers who preferred their alien partners calm and manageable. Emergency override accepted, the AI announced as the displays stabilized into new configurations. Alternate matching protocol activated. Sergeant Devin Blake, your optimal match has been identified through secondary compatibility analysis. Devin felt his stomach drop as the holographic displays highlighted the Velker woman, whose violet eyes were now fixed on him, with an intensity that made his tactical training scream warnings about imminent danger. "This can't be right," Devin said, looking at the bioresonance readings that showed compatibility patterns nothing like the smooth integrations he'd witnessed. "The system must still be malfunctioning. I'm supposed to be matched with someone normal." The Velker woman moved toward him with predatory grace that made every soldier in the chamber instinctively step back, her luminescent markings shifting to colors that Devin's incomplete cultural knowledge couldn't interpret. When she reached his bonding station, she studied him with an expression that mixed satisfaction with what might have been amusement. "The system didn't malfunction," she said, her voice carrying harmonics that made Devin's nervous system respond with sensations his military training hadn't prepared him for. "It revealed truth that your compatibility algorithms were designed to hide." "And what truth is that?" "That you bear the genetic markers of my clan's ancient bloodline. That your bioresonance patterns indicate capacity to withstand bonds that would overwhelm the normal partners you expected. And that our pairing was fated by forces that transcend your artificial matching protocols." Her smile held edges that suggested she found the entire situation entertaining. "I am Lissa Velker, heir to clan leadership, and you, Sergeant Devin Blake, are mine." Before Devin could process this declaration or consult the emergency protocols that surely covered what to do when the matching system pairs you with a terrifying alien vampire who claims you're destined for her, Lissa moved with speed his reflexes couldn't track. Her hand gripped his arm, her mouth descended to his wrist, and pain mixed with sensations his nervous system had no framework to interpret as her bite transferred something that felt like liquid fire directly into his bloodstream. Luminescent patterns began spreading from the bite wound, designs that looked like circuitry written in bioluminescent ink, crawling up his arm and across his chest in configurations that the ceremony's monitoring systems immediately flagged as Velker clan marking. The surrounding soldiers backed away further, their expressions mixing shock with the kind of sympathy usually reserved for casualties that couldn't be prevented. "The mark," Lissa said with satisfaction, examining the patterns spreading across Devin's skin. "You are now bound to me through neurological connection that cannot be dissolved by your military's partnership regulations or your personal preferences about normal matches." Devin looked at the glowing patterns, then at the alien woman whose bite had apparently married him to the most volatile species in the coalition, then at his commanding officers, whose expressions suggested they were already calculating how to handle the diplomatic incident their matching system had just created. "So," Devin said weakly, trying to maintain composure while his nervous system processed whatever Lissa's mark was doing to his biology, "I'm guessing this isn't covered in the standard partnership orientation materials." "Standard orientation is for calm matches with steady partners," Lissa replied, her luminescent markings pulsing with patterns that might have been amusement. "You have been marked by Velker clan heir. Your orientation will be considerably more intense." As medical personnel rushed forward with scanners and commanding officers, began urgent consultations about protocol violations and security implications. Devon realized that his expectation of receiving a normal, manageable alien partner had just been spectacularly and permanently shattered. The question was whether intense meant interesting or catastrophic, and whether he'd survive long enough to figure out the difference. The medical bay had been designed to handle standard bonding aftercare, monitoring bioresonance integration, managing mild neurological adjustment symptoms, and providing counseling for partners who needed help adapting to their new connections. It had not been designed to handle a human soldier whose nervous system was being systematically rewritten by Velker clan marking that made standard bonding protocols look like kindergarten finger painting. Your neurological patterns are unprecedented, Dr. Sarah Martinez reported, studying medical scans that showed Devon's biology transforming in real time. The mark is integrating with your nervous system at cellular level, encoding genetic information, enhancing reflexes, and creating permanent neurological pathways that link directly to your partner's consciousness. When you say permanent, how permanent are we talking? Devon asked, watching luminescent patterns continue spreading across his skin in designs that seemed to be both biological modification and artistic statement. The kind of permanent that makes, until death do you part, look like a casual arrangement. Dr. Martinez replied with the brutal honesty that medical personnel developed after dealing with too many impossible situations. Velker marking creates bonds that can't be dissolved, suppressed, or ignored. You're neurologically connected to Lissa Velker in ways that exceed anything our standard partnership protocols create. Lissa entered the medical bay with the kind of presence that made everyone else in the room suddenly remember they had urgent business elsewhere. She settled into the chair beside Devon's medical bed with possessive casualness that suggested she'd already claimed this space as her territory. The medical staff is concerned about the intensity of the bond, she observed, examining the monitoring displays with interest. They believe Velker marking is dangerous, unpredictable, possibly harmful to human physiology. Is it? Devon asked, noting that the mark was providing him with awareness of Lissa's emotional state, amusement mixed with something that might have been affection, though the emotional resonance was considerably more complex than simple feelings. Velker bonds are intense because we do not believe in the artificial calm your species calls compatibility. We seek partners strong enough to handle genuine connection, rather than managed relationship designed to avoid inconvenient passion. Her luminescent markings shifted to patterns that Devon's enhanced perception was beginning to read as emotional indicators. The mark grants you enhanced abilities, accelerated reflexes, improved sensory awareness, access to genetic archives, but it also creates permanent neurological synchronization that allows no deception between bonded partners. So I can sense your emotions. You can sense everything, my thoughts, my feelings, my intentions, my physical state, and I can sense yours with equal clarity. Lissa's expression grew serious. Velker bonding reveals truth that calm partnerships are designed to hide. You will know when I am angry, frightened, excited, or affectionate, and I will know the same about you. There is no privacy in Velker marking, only absolute transparency. Devon accessed the bond connection, feeling the truth of her words as emotional resonance flooded his awareness. He could sense her genuine regard for him beneath the fierce exterior, her strategic calculations about how their bond would affect clan politics, and her uncertainty about whether he would accept partnership that demanded such complete vulnerability. The other soldiers received calm Lyrathi partners who communicate through careful diplomacy and managed emotional expression, Devon said slowly. You're telling me that Velker bonding is the opposite of that. Velker bonding is honest rather than managed, passionate rather than calm, and strong enough to withstand the kind of truth that destroys relationships built on comfortable deception. Lissa touched the mark on his arm, her fingers tracing the luminescent patterns. Your compatibility scores indicated moderate matches with everyone because you possess rare genetic markers that allow bonding with species your military considers too volatile for standard partnerships. And you chose to mark me because I have been observing you for 6 months, watching how you handle tactical situations, noting that your responses prioritize genuine effectiveness over political convenience, and recognizing that you possess character strong enough to partner with someone whose intensity frightens your commanding officers. Her honesty resonated through the bond with weight that transcended simple explanation. Also, because you bear genetic markers indicating descent from bloodlines that merged with my clan centuries ago, before your species forgot that genuine partnership requires accepting volatility alongside stability. Before Devon could fully process this revelation, Coalition Commander Rodriguez entered the medical bay with an expression that suggested he was about to deliver news that would require significant paperwork and possibly court-martial proceedings. "Sergeant Blake," Commander Rodriguez began with careful formality, "the Coalition command structure has reviewed your bonding situation. The Velker marking represents significant security concerns that our standard partnership protocols were specifically designed to prevent." Security concerns. Devon felt Lissa's emotional response through the bond, anger mixed with contempt for political maneuvering that prioritized control over effectiveness. Velker bonds create neurological connections that could compromise your judgment, loyalty, and tactical decision-making. Command is recommending that you undergo medical procedures designed to suppress the mark's effects until dissolution protocols can be developed. And if such protocols can't be developed, then you will be reassigned to non-combat duties pending evaluation of whether Velker influence has compromised your fitness for military service. Commander Rodriguez's expression suggested this was non-negotiable military policy rather than personal preference. The Coalition cannot allow partnerships that prioritize intensity over stability to operate in sensitive military operations. Lissa stood, her luminescent markings shifting to patterns that Devon's enhanced perception recognized as barely controlled fury. You fear Velker bonds because they reveal truths your calm partnerships are designed to hide. That your stable matches fail to detect conspiracies, that your diplomatic partners miss threats that volatile awareness would catch, and that your entire partnership system has been compromised by those who profit from keeping coalition forces predictably manageable. That's a serious accusation, Commander Rodriguez replied carefully. It's truth encoded in genetic archives that my mark has granted Devon access to. Lissa activated holographic displays showing data streams that made Devon's enhanced awareness suddenly flood with information about systematic manipulation of coalition bonding protocols. The matching system was designed to prevent Velker partnerships specifically, because our intensity makes us difficult to manipulate through normal political channels. Devon accessed the archive data through the mark, his enhanced perception processing information about conspiracy that extended far beyond simple partnership policy. The bonding system isn't just pairing people for compatibility. It's systematically preventing partnerships that would be too effective at detecting the kind of corruption that's been undermining coalition operations. Those are classified archives, Commander Rodriguez said sharply. How do you have access to that information? Because Velker marking grants access to genetic records that your command structure has been trying to suppress, Lissa replied with satisfaction. My unpredictable bonding choice has created exactly the kind of partnership that threatens the comfortable corruption your comm system was designed to protect. As medical alarms began indicating that Devon's enhanced abilities were triggering security protocols, and command personnel started urgent consultations about containing what was clearly becoming a significantly larger problem than simple partnership incompatibility, Devon realized that his wild, alien vampire partner had just revealed that everyone else's normal matches were actually the problem. The question was whether he was brave enough to embrace the chaos that came with genuine partnership, or whether he'd choose the comfortable suppression that Command was offering as an alternative to truth that threatened the entire coalition structure. Devon's decision to refuse the mark suppression procedures made him officially under investigation for compromised judgment due to volatile bond influence, which sounded considerably more dramatic than choosing to trust his terrifying alien partner over comfortable lies. The secure briefing room where he and Lissa had been confined, while Command decided what to do with them, provided uncomfortable privacy for conversations that their bond made simultaneously easier and more challenging than normal communication. "The archives you've accessed through the mark," Devon said, reviewing data streams that revealed systematic manipulation of coalition bonding protocols. "They show that the matching system has been deliberately preventing effective partnerships for over a decade. The system was designed by consultants who profit from maintaining coalition ineffectiveness," Lissa confirmed, her luminescent markings pulsing with patterns that indicated controlled anger. "Velker were excluded from standard bonding protocols because our intensity makes us difficult to manipulate through normal political channels. Our partnerships detect deception, expose corruption, and operate with effectiveness that threatens comfortable incompetence." Devon studied the conspiracy evidence, noting that the calm, Lyrathi partnerships his colleagues had received were actually designed to create manageable alliances that would miss the very threats they were supposed to detect. So everyone got paired with steady, reliable partners who won't notice when their missions are being systematically compromised. "While we received each other, a pairing that your command structure views as dangerous volatility, but which actually represents the kind of genuine effectiveness that threatens those who profit from coalition dysfunction." Lissa's tone carried satisfaction despite the circumstances. "Your moderate compatibility scores existed because your genetic markers indicate capacity for bonds that most humans cannot withstand. The system tried to hide you among average matches, but fate intervened." "Fate, or you deliberately manipulating the ceremony to force recognition of our connection?" "Why not both?" Her smile held edges that suggested she found his suspicion entertaining. "I observed you for months, recognized your potential for genuine partnership, and ensured that the matching system couldn't suppress our connection through its comfortable lies about compatibility." Through their bond, Devon could sense the truth of her words. She had indeed manipulated the ceremony, but her motives were more complex than simple political maneuvering. Lissa genuinely believed their partnership could expose corruption, while proving that Velker intensity provided tactical advantages that exceeded the safe matches other soldiers received. "The evidence we've accessed," Devon said, highlighting sections of the archives that showed financial connections between bonding system consultants and defense contractors. "It proves that coalition ineffectiveness has been deliberately maintained to justify increased military spending on equipment that compensates for partnerships designed to fail. And our bond threatens to expose the entire system by demonstrating that volatile partnerships are actually more effective than calm ones." Lissa accessed additional archive data that showed Velker combat performance records. "My clan's reputation for unpredictability is deliberate propaganda. We're not wild and dangerous. We're intensely focused, brutally honest, and effective enough that those who profit from dysfunction want us isolated from coalition operations." So the wild alien vampire reputation is actually tactical competence that threatens comfortable corruption. "Exactly. And your willingness to partner with me despite that reputation indicates character strong enough to handle truth that most prefer to avoid." Their strategic planning was interrupted when the briefing room security systems activated with urgent alerts. "Unauthorized access detected," announced the facility AI. Multiple hostile signatures approaching containment area. Defensive protocols recommend immediate evacuation. Devon's enhanced reflexes, courtesy of the mark, detected the approaching threats before standard sensors registered them. Assassination team. 8 hostiles with military-grade equipment, moving to eliminate us before we can present the archive evidence. They're not trying to suppress information, Lissa observed, her combat instincts analyzing the attack patterns through their shared tactical awareness. They're trying to eliminate witnesses before the evidence can be formally documented. The bond's neurological synchronization allowed coordination that exceeded anything Devon's military training had prepared him for. He could sense Lissa's combat intentions before she moved, anticipate her tactical decisions through shared awareness that made verbal communication unnecessary, and integrate his human weapons training with her Velker-enhanced abilities in ways that created partnership far more effective than the calm matches his colleagues received. The volatility that command fears, Devon realized as they moved into defensive positions with perfectly synchronized coordination. It's actually tactical synchronization that operates faster than normal communication allows. Velker intensity creates bonds so neurologically integrated that partners operate as unified systems rather than coordinated individuals. Lissa's satisfaction resonated through their connection. This is why Command wanted to suppress our mark, not because it's dangerous, but because it's too effective at exposing the comfortable dysfunction they've been maintaining. The battle that followed demonstrated exactly why Velker partnerships had been systematically excluded from coalition operations. Devon and Lissa moved as a single tactical unit, their shared awareness allowing defensive coordination that predicted enemy movements before they developed. What Command had feared as dangerous unpredictability was actually precision synchronization that operated at instinctive levels normal partnerships couldn't achieve. All hostiles neutralized, Devon reported as the last assassination team member was secured. And we've documented evidence that Coalition Command authorized the attack to prevent exposure of the bonding system corruption. More importantly, Lissa added, accessing communication intercepts through the archives, we've proven that volatile partnerships are more effective than calm ones at handling exactly the kind of threats the matching system was supposedly designed to detect. As emergency response teams arrived to secure the captured assassination team, whose equipment and authorization codes provided undeniable evidence of high-level conspiracy, Devon realized that his wild partnership with Lissa had accomplished more in 3 days than years of steady matches had achieved. The question was whether Coalition Command would acknowledge that truth, or whether they'd double down on suppressing partnerships that threatened their comfortable dysfunction. The formal inquiry into the assassination attempt took place in Coalition Headquarters' main tribunal chamber, with representatives from all member species watching as Devon and Lissa presented evidence that the bonding system had been deliberately designed to prevent effective partnerships. Commander Rodriguez sat among the tribunal members with an expression suggesting he was witnessing the dismantling of systems he'd helped build, while Velker clan representatives watched with obvious satisfaction as their unpredictable reputation was systematically rewritten into tactical superiority. The matching protocols, Devon testified, accessing archive data through his enhanced awareness, were designed by consultants who profit from maintaining coalition ineffectiveness. Every partnership creates manageable alliances that miss threats volatile bonds would detect immediately. And Sergeant Blake's bond with Air Velker, asked Elder Counselor Thane, one of the tribunal's neutral arbiters, represents the kind of volatile partnership that these consultants sought to prevent. Our bond, Lissa replied, her luminescent markings pulsing with patterns that the tribunal's cultural experts were frantically trying to interpret, demonstrates that Velker intensity creates tactical synchronization superior to calm matches. What Coalition Command calls dangerous unpredictability is actually enhanced coordination that operates through neurological integration rather than managed communication. The tribunal reviewed combat footage from the assassination attempt, watching Devon and Lissa coordinate with precision that made standard partnership protocols look remarkably inadequate. Their synchronized movements, shared tactical awareness, and instinctive coordination demonstrated capabilities that calm matches couldn't approach. The evidence suggests, Elder Counselor Thane concluded after hours of testimony, that the Coalition's bonding system has been systematically preventing the most effective partnerships in favor of manageable matches that serve consultant profits rather than operational effectiveness. Which is why, Devon added, Velker were excluded from standard bonding protocols, not because they're dangerous, but because their effectiveness threatens comfortable corruption. The tribunal's decision came after 3 days of deliberation that required reviewing decades of bonding system records, consulting with partnership experts from multiple species, and acknowledging that the entire coalition structure had been compromised by consultants who benefited from maintaining dysfunction. The matching protocols are hereby suspended pending complete system redesign, Elder Counselor Thane announced. Velker partnerships will be integrated into standard operations, and all existing bonds will be reevaluated for effectiveness rather than comfort. 6 months later, Devon found himself presenting partnership integration briefings from his office in the newly established Coalition Bonding Reform Commission, a joint authority created specifically to redesign matching protocols around effectiveness rather than manageability. His position as Velker Human Integration Specialist combined his tactical expertise with his authority as Lissa's bonded partner, demonstrating that volatile matches could provide template for improved coalition operations. The reformation is exceeding expectations, Lissa reported, entering his office with documents showing successful Velker partnership integration throughout coalition forces. Apparently, when soldiers are allowed to form genuine bonds rather than managed relationships, their effectiveness increases dramatically. Who would have thought that honest intensity works better than comfortable deception? Devon accessed their bond connection, feeling her satisfaction with the progress mixed with affection that had deepened alongside their partnership. Though I have to admit, I'm still adjusting to being the example everyone points to when discussing effective volatile partnerships. You mean you're adjusting to being bonded with the wild alien vampire, who turned out to be more tactically competent than all those calm Lyrathi matches your colleagues received. That too, though the wild reputation is considerably less accurate than the brilliantly strategic reality that our bond keeps revealing. Devon looked at her, noting how the mark had made her thoughts and feelings as accessible as his own. Any regrets about choosing me as your bonding partner? Only that it took a ceremony malfunction and conspiracy exposure to meet someone whose character was strong enough to handle partnership, that your command structure considered too volatile for military operations. Lissa's markings pulsed with patterns that indicated contentment, though I prefer to think of it as fate ensuring you couldn't be hidden among average matches. Fate or deliberate manipulation of the matching system. Why not both? Her smile carried warmth that their bond made undeniable. I manipulated the ceremony to force recognition of our connection, but fate provided someone whose genetic markers and moral character made him worthy of partnership that most humans fear. Devon examined partnership integration, reports showing that Velker bonds were becoming the new standard for coalition operations. Their intensity and effectiveness, replacing the calm matches that had allowed decades of dysfunction. Sometimes I think the most important thing we've done isn't reforming the bonding system or exposing the conspiracy. It's proving that the wildest partnerships are often the ones stable enough to handle truth that comfortable matches were designed to avoid. The bond makes comfortable lies impossible, Lissa observed, their shared awareness resonating with truth that transcended normal communication. When partners can sense each other's thoughts and emotions with absolute transparency, deception becomes pointless and genuine connection becomes inevitable. Is that what we have? Inevitable connection forced by neurological synchronization. We have what started as my calculated gamble to expose coalition corruption, and evolved into the kind of partnership that makes individual consciousness seem incomplete. Her honesty resonated through the bond with weight that made her sincerity undeniable. The mark didn't force affection. It revealed affection that was developing despite impossible circumstances and volatile reputation that was supposed to prevent exactly this kind of genuine connection. As they settled into evening coordination of partnership reform initiatives, a practice that strengthened their bond while demonstrating the effectiveness of volatile matches to coalition personnel still learning to trust intensity over comfort, Devon reflected on the journey from expecting normal calm partnership to embracing chaos that had become his life. Everyone else got steady Lyrathi partners who communicate through careful diplomacy, he said, accessing their shared consciousness that